Alright, what's going on, guys? I am Joe. I'm just doing a simple tutorial video. I want to preface this by saying this is not going to be a best, most efficient way to speed run to level 25 or max level or your max Artisanships or anything like that. This is just a simple, if you're new to Ashes of Creation, you just got the alpha or presumably the beta in the coming months or whatever stage we're at. This is kind of a little bit of an explanation because there's not a tutorial yet, and I don't know if they have plans to. I can't remember off the top of my head. So this will help you get started so that you can start figuring the game out on your own and start testing and just trying things out for when the game fully launches. Here I've got the map pulled up. There's 2 starting regions. I'm not going to go through character creation because it's an MMORPG. Do your own thing. You can customize your looks, your class, everything. So 2 important things to know when you're actually creating a character, though, is you have to choose a starting region. The one that we're going to be talking about is Ayla, because at the current moment in September of 25, when this is being recorded, the Anvils, which is the northern one, is pretty bugged and not working properly. They're working on that and fixing it. You know, it's an alpha. Got to give them time. So they'll be having that fixed soon. But for the time being, we're just going to focus on Ayla, or the Riverlands, which is what this is most commonly referred to as in game. Here I'm playing a cleric, but that's not super important. You can pick whatever class you want to do. This is my 3rd character of phase 3 of Alpha 2, and this is where you spawn if you click Ayla. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to walk up and try and find some of these little tools, or not tools, sorry, weapons that are on the ground. So you can see down on the bottom right here, every time I click F on one of these, or press F, not click, I'm picking one of these weapons up. And it's giving me basically just level 1 starter gear. And this is important because it's how you can get like your shield, your secondary weapon, and your ranged weapon, etc. You will start off with a like main weapon, which for the players is a spear, and then I picked up a shield and equipped it. You can right click to equip, or you can click and drag as well. The first thing you're going to want to do is talk to one of these gate watchers. This will give you the beginner task, which will prompt you to either head to Lion's Hold, which is over here where all these markers are. Right here, this is Lion's Hold. Or it'll prompt you to head over to Samia's. You get to do either or. Sorry, I went way too far. Samia's is right here. This little, directly on either side of the spawn. You're basically going east or west. I prefer to go west because it's just a little easier in my opinion to get in and out of and to work with. And also, yeah, there's some weapons out here. So, you know, look around, see what you can find. So I'm going to go west towards Lion's Hold, like I just said. And we're going to start getting the beginner level tasks done. It's pretty simple start, but after you get the first core task done, when you get your mount, is when the game kind of opens up, and there's not necessarily a succinct storyline to follow yet, but there is some commissions that kind of point you in directions, or just little, you can almost look at them as dailies that refresh like every hour to 2 hours. So as you head down here, down the ramp here, you're going to run into Lion's Hold or Samia's if you're going to the east, either one. They both do the same thing. You're going to want to talk to any official. This is just the first one here as you come into town on the left-hand side of the road, right on the corner of the stables here. You talk to him and he'll give you the first task. This will basically prompt you to go up to the Ember Springs, which you think of as like a respawn point. Most MMORPGs have something similar to this. You don't need to interact with it, but if you do like press F on it, the Ember Spring is your home point, so you can set which one you want to respawn at if you so happen to die, basically. And then as soon as you do that, you just come back, talk to the officer, and that's the end of that task. It'll give you a little bit of XP. It'll give you some rations. I think it'll give you rations. Maybe he just gives you heals. These are little heals, but either way he does that. Gives you that kind of loot, and most importantly some XP. So as soon as you're done talking to him, turning that task in, you're going to run down the main road here and then turn off to the right where I am. You're going to talk to the trades manager, and he's going to give you the sweat of your brow. So the first thing you have to do for it, I've already kind of done that part of it, is you harvest oak. You're going to have to harvest 3 different resources, and they're all going to be right in town here. So the first one is just oak. You just walk up to it. He's going to give you an axe in your inventory, which I've already equipped by right-clicking it. And this is the C key here that opens up, and you can see the different artisanship tools that you can equip and different clothing items you can equip, which we're not going to go into too much today. But as you equip them, you can then harvest trees with the axe. I'm not going to harvest this because you can only use it for the tutorial, and I already have one. And then it prompts you to harvest it, or process it rather, at the logging station, which is one of these, milling station right here. So you can see he just wants you to make an oak timber, so you just right click it into there. And please, you know, like, you edit, and then you have to right click here, or you can shift right click if you're trying to do a stack, and then you just submit it and start the job. And there'll be a queue here for your jobs. Some stations have more than one queue, some only have one. So right, so you get your inventory, you just click claim, send to inventory. You can send it to your warehouse, and it'll send it to your warehouse, but sometimes it's not necessarily the greatest. And then you just talk to this guy, and he prompts you to do the next thing, which he provides you. You can read if you want to. I'm not going to. He provides you with the zinc you have. Ignore this oak, and this is the oak timber that you just crafted, so that you can make a pickaxe. So you just need to go up to the mining station, which is in the middle here, and then it'll allow you to craft a mining pickaxe. So now that you have a pickaxe, you open your inventory up. You can either left click drag so I'm pressing the C key. You can also go down to the bottom right and open up your skill book, your character, and it'll show you all these cool things. I just use the hotkey, so C. Click on the Artisanship tab, and you can either click drag it over to wherever mining is at, down on the bottom left there, or you can right click and it'll equip and de-equip things. So now you need to go farm a piece of stone. And this is the part where it gets a little repetitive, but there's 5 different resources, and each one, or 5 different gathering traits, and each one has its own designated gathering tool. So now that we've done that, we just have to do the same thing with ashlar block. Add in a thing by right clicking, or you can shift right click if you're doing multiple, and wait for the queue. And now that you have that, you just turn it into him, and he will give you the other tools you're missing. So again, go into the Artisanship tab. Just doing this so you can see it. You don't need to have this open in order to do this. So if I close that, I right click them in, they do automatically get deposited in the designated spot. Same thing with gear. If you were to pick up gear, like the shield, etc., different clothing items, etc. So now we just need to get a snowdrop, which is going to be down the road from the trade guy down here. And you only need to get one of these. These are only useful for this tutorial mission, so don't worry about getting a ton and stocking up. They're kind of worthless. And then after you get that one, you just need to run right back up here. So you run up here to the alchemical area, which is just on the northern side of the tradesmonger area, the little side alley here. And again, you just right click add, and it creates the snowdrop powder, which again, this is for the specific task here, so it's pretty worthless unless you do that. Claim, and then you just run down here and you turn it into them. So this is going to prompt the end of the task. So this is the only task we're going to do together here. The rest of it open up to the viewer, but you'll notice he wants you to deliver some stuff, and head to the stables is going to be part of this somewhere.
I hear all this talk of how... sure. It's an old sway-backed plodder.
Alright, so like I just did, as soon as you pick up that, you're going to head over here to the stables, and you're going to pick up the stable master pile here. Is going to give you a mount, your first mount. And I like to click drag it down here. You can just right click it. Oop, I didn't mean to drink that, but that's not that big a deal. You can just right click there, or you can also left click down here, and it'll summon and desummon your mount. So you'll notice I have a fishing skill on my toolbar. That's going to be the first thing that we're going to go do over here, and then the rest of the game is going to be open up to you. Actually, we're going to run up here to the little pond because it's on the way. I'll meet you there. Alright, so as you can see, we're here by the Ember Springs, and we're just to the north west of where the officer that we've done the main task for is. There's a little commission board here that we're about to talk about, and all these are the resources here that you can farm, but I think these are all the starter tutorial quality, so they're not going to do very good. I want to point this one out specifically because it's unique comparatively to farming Snowdrop or the little flowers, or you'll see little flax flowers around too, or flax stems around too, and like oak trees. Those you walk up and press F. Fishing, you just click this toggleable skill that I have on my toolbar, and the way that you get that on there is you can either press K, which is a hotkey for skill book, or you can go down to the right and just hover your mouse over the little person, and it'll bring up the menu that you can press skills on, and you'll see, usually it'll take you to this class screen, which is your actual main character class. So for mine it's cleric. Yours might look a little different if you're playing a different class. And then you'll have your weapon skill tree. These are separate things that you want to keep leveling up as you get those levels. It'll prompt you down with the little icon down there to remind you to level it up. And then stamina, and you want to kind of read through all these different menus and see kind of what you want to play with and try out. I'm sure you can also look up guides if you just want to find them, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. But the skill book will kind of show you your different skills in the greater grand scheme of things. So for fishing, there is this fishing skill, and you just want to click and drag it. I'm just going to drag it somewhere else to the toolbar, and then you'll just click that and start fishing, and you will progressively get fish in your materials here. Okay, that being said, that's kind of an intro to artisanship, but like, what's the point, right? Well, so crafting is a big part of the game, and they're kind of working through the crafting process, so I'm not going to go into the tediousness of the state of crafting right now. This is just simply to kind of explain. Long term, you're only going to be able to max out 5 of your artisanships, and every 10 levels, you're going to be able to promote that artisanship. So for instance, we'll go into gathering since we were doing some fishing. You see I got a little experience, and for lumberjacking I have a little bit of experience because I was farming some actual oak, not the tutorial oak. As this levels up, you will hit level 10, and you will be able to promote it by going to these little white diamonds that are really close by to the spawn. There's some over to the north of Semia's Hope and to the west of Lion's Hold on the other side of this mountain ridge. You go to these in order to talk to the NPCs to promote your artisanships that you want to main every 10 levels. So you start out like novice or whatever, and then you go apprentice, and then journeyman, etc. So for fishing, you come over to the cookhouse. That's where the fisherman is. You go up to the guy, the NPC there, and you basically say, I want to promote my fishing to apprentice when you get to level 10. Similarly, you can do that for wood chopping, mining. You'd have to go to the stoneworks, not the smithy. The smithy only will let you upgrade. The smithy's over here. The smithy will only let you upgrade armor smithing and metalworking and that kind of stuff, not the gathering. For the gathering, which is mining, you need to go to the stoneworks. And yeah, so you just go to the designated one that you are trying to upgrade and do that. So the reason that matters a lot is because since you can only upgrade 5, it kind of incentivizes you to work with other people in a guild. It really promotes guilds working together. But if you do want to try it out solo because it's just the alpha right now, and you just kind of want to see things and just kind of get later, see how far you can get, you can still come into here. This is the artisan menu, which again, it's a little person icon. Pressing this, the artisan tab right there. And you can also use the hotkey, which is P. And it opens up this menu, which will show you your level and everything every artisanship, or alternatively also what rank you are or promotion level you are, however you want to call it. Obviously I'm novice and everything. This is a fresh character, but you can look at, there's gathering, processing, and crafting. Gathering is just farming resources, so when you're cutting trees down, mining up stuff, harvesting flowers, you're hunting animals, which will have a special huntable icon above them, and you're fishing. And then processing is kind of taking the raw materials and you're processing that into more advanced materials that you can then use to craft with, which is why this is the crafting video. So we're just gonna go off stonemasonry because it's the first option here. Say you're like really interested in not just farming resources all day, you actually want to craft, and you're gonna go, I want to do stonemasonry because I think making weapon molds and cutting gems and armor molds and whatever else is just really cool and interesting to me. I want to do that. In order to do that, you might go, okay, well, what do you need? Like, I only have 5 artisanships that I can promote. What 5 should I really think about to promote myself with stonemasonry? So when you click on the stonemasonry tab, it'll pull up all the things that you can craft with that, and then it'll show you the recipe necessary. So it's like, okay, well, oak timber, I harvested some oak wood, so I have to process that somehow, obviously. How do I do that? So you can go to the lumber milling, and you can kind of see, oh, first thing that applies, oak timbers. So in order to make stonemasonry, or to use stonemasonry effectively and level it up past level 10 and use higher tier things, I'm going to have to also probably level up lumber milling. So that's 2 of them right there. Well, in order to do stonemasonry to begin with, you're going to need stone, which is going to require mining, and then lumber milling, which is going to require you to harvest trees. It's oak wood in this example, but there's other kinds of wood as well. So I'm going to need to level up the gathering for lumbering, or lumberjacking. So that's 4 right there already. So it just kind of shows like a snowball effect of you can kind of look through and see what interests you, or if you want to do fishing, you could look into like cooking or herbalism. You know, there's infinite amount of possibilities and ways to mix and match your 5 artisanships to work cohesively together. I would say I use stonemasonry just because it's pretty simple to follow. As far as like how to level up though and kind of direct yourself as you're playing the game and progressing, I'm not gonna go into again min-maxing stuff. You can look up tutorials and videos. I just want to show you like a little bit of like directional based gameplay. So there's going to be commission boards here, which is like this little billboard with a green. This one has a green roof because it's adventuring. You're going to find in towns there's going to be another commission board, which is going to be like brown, and it's going to give you these little objectives basically. The green one, this is adventuring based stuff, so you're going to be looking for killing things. You're going to be just trying to just find locations, scout areas, which is just find a location basically, and those kinds of things. And as soon as you accept those missions, you'll see the menu over here will kind of show you the 10 tasks that you can list out and kind of scroll through to have like an easy access, like, okay, for this one I need to process some stuff and then I need to go deliver it. And then it'll have the number corresponding, and then on the map, like most other MMORPGs, you'll be able to find and say, okay, I need to go here. And then you can figure out your route to get there, etc. And then the reason I'm pointing this out is for the ones that are like explore the Griffin's Nest. Maybe you don't know where that is. It shows you on the map. But more importantly, when you need to farm animal or creatures, maybe you haven't seen Grim before, it'll show you where to go farm Grim. So it kind of indicates on the map where you need to go. Just like most other games will. Just do that. And then every time you complete one of these commissions, they give you quite a bit of experience, and they'll give you these little chests that you can open by just right-clicking them. And they'll also give you some dull glint, which is just another resource in the game that you use in the late game, but you can also just sell if you're needing a little bit of silver and copper, etc. So that's just kind of directionally how you can keep leveling up and start the game out. I will point out though, big thing is keep doing your commissions, do them as often as possible. There's going to be several different kinds, especially as you go out and explore the map to bigger cities. Like Jova is a village now, so it's been upgraded several times. And then Winstead, which is currently under a siege, which we don't really need to talk about, that's a little more complex, is a town which is even like another step past village. So these different cities will have different kinds of commission boards. I already previously mentioned there's a second one that you should really keep your eye out for, which has like a brown roof, I think, or like a tan roof. That one's going to give you resource farming ones, which is going to tie in right to your artisanships. It's basically going to allow you to give you directionally based like additional experience for farming. So you're not just out getting like slow progression on your character level from just farming your oak trees that you need to level up your carpentry and woodworking. You're gonna have a commission that instead of saying slay 10 wolves, it's gonna say harvest 20 oak trees or harvest 20 ash trees or mine 10 basalt or 20 basalt or whatever. And you're just going to be able to go and farm those. And as you passively complete those as you're harvesting and leveling up your artisanships, it's going to give you a pretty substantial amount of experience to level your actual character up so you can keep progressing in more than just your artisanships. I'm not going to tell you how to effectively play the game. Everyone plays in their own ways. Some people really focus on the PvP stuff, the guild v guild, node v node, PV or settlement v settlement, however you want to call it stuff. Some people really focus on the PvE grind spots, which are several points of interest around, like Highwayman Hills, or we got the estates and Seth and etc. Or actually the close, like, easy one to get to, the first one you probably experience is going to be the Church of the Seven Stars, which is, level 6, level 7 area. You can start out there. So a lot of people focus on that. I'm not going to tell you the best way to do that. Try it out. It's an alpha. Experience it for yourself. Hopefully, through the process of showing how to get your first secondary tool, your first tools, your horse, and where to get your commissions and different things, and how to actually start the game out, you'll be able to start progressing. And then if you guys have any specific things that you have questions on, just feel free to comment down below, and I'll try and respond as quickly as possible. I've got a really resourceful guild that I'm fairly new to the game myself, but they've helped me a long way, and I've seen a lot of people asking a lot of these common, frequently asked questions. There's not really a good way for those to be answered so far, except for joining the official Discord and hoping to God that people stop trolling each other for 5 minutes to answer your question. And sometimes it gets lost, so hopefully this is a good, concise way for you guys to be able to just start out, get your tools going, get your artisanships going, and be able to just begin trying out the game. And just go try things and figure it out for yourself. But no, thanks you guys, and just let me know if there's any questions in the comments.